Biggest winners from the weekend. Lincoln, we'll start with you.
I took the Florida men, a little easy to be biased there, being at the East Prelim, but it's obviously not just Grant Holloway. We have Hakeem Sani Brown up there. He qualifies in 2 events, rests in the 4x1. The 4x1 obviously still gets through. He's looking sharper than ever. They didn't get one of their guys through in the 1 or the 2 Akawo, which was a surprise. But you look at the issues that LSU had getting injured in the 4x4. They're not going to make it. They were the 2nd fastest team in the country entering the meet. And then you also look at Houston dropping the stick in the 4x1. That only adds more advantage to the Florida men. Now, of course, Texas Tech's right there. They had a great weekend. But Texas Tech's never done it before. They've never won. They struggled when it came to NCAAs indoors. When the moment got hot, the lights turned on. I think Florida men are.
How long were you working on that one?
Yeah. I had it in my back pocket there.
Put a hashtag
I think
in
the
front
Florida
of that.
men, they obviously they've been there before with Mouse Holloway, and Grant Holloway's a stud. He's going to be in the long jump, the 4x1, the 4x4, the 110 hurdles. I think Florida men are going to win the title, and I think they took their giant step towards that this weekend.
Too early for me to make a prediction on that one.
Well, the fields are set, Kevin. So
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know how much.
I'd say too certain, I guess. I think it's
Yeah.
wide open. I think LSU is still in the mix. I think Texas Tech's still there.
The points are so
Houston's
hard to
still
come
high.
by, though. When you go from we might get 8 or 10 to 0 in the 4x4.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to win the title. They're not winning the title.
I think there's 4 teams who could still win it, and they're one of the 4. Actually,
And so we obviously have Texas Tech, Florida, LSU, and then
Houston.
Houston.
You could-
Come on now.
They need to draw an inside straight, but they could do it. Houston could still do it.
No, not without the 4x1. Come on now.
No, they 4x4 looked really strong. They got Latin through in both. Montgomery and Obi Ibakwe looked really good. You still have Mario Burke in the 100.
The ceiling though is pretty.
Okay.
It's pretty visible though for somebody like Latin. Like when you look at somebody like Quincy Hall, obviously he's not going to win the 400 hurdles. He's not going to win the 110 hurdles. The 4x4, they're not going to win that with Texas A&M there. Florida's looking good. I mean, I just think Houston, that would be a
gonna knock on
monumental
wood for them?
shocker. For who?
Well,
For-
I wouldn't run off the 4x4. They looked really. I mean, they didn't run Kamari Montgomery, and they still ran really fast. So
yeah,
I'm
Montgomery's
just saying,
not the best
all
400 runner
this
in the country right now.
all this stuff is super fragile. One person goes down, another team gets DQ'd, somebody else drops a stick, and the whole thing could change.
Well,
I mean,
just like how close it is on the men's side too, I have to agree with Kevin. It's going to be extremely difficult. Well, with you actually, sorry, it's going to be extremely difficult for Houston to pull it off. So I'd say that they're pretty much out of contention there in the team title race.
Yeah, I mean, they lost not some scores, but they didn't get through very many guys in the 2, and they're unlikely to. I mean, maybe they get a couple points there. I don't see it. It's going to take Montgomery winning the 4, Obi scoring a lot of points in the 4. Like you said, them winning the 4, but it's just going to take a absolutely perfect day. Whereas Florida has a little bit more margin for error,
Yeah.
and Texas Tech. Let's face it, they choked indoors. I need to see more from them before I pick them. Florida's going to win.
all right, Jenny, let's go to you. Biggest winner.
Yeah, so I went with an individual winner. He qualified in 3 events, the 100, 200, and 4x1. It's John Flournoy, Mr. Oh Yeah.
Okay.
And on top of it, Houston dropped the baton, so that rivalry is now out the door heading into NCAAs.
Which is terrible.
No, it is terrible in terms of just like building the drama.
He doesn't have to cash the check though that he wrote back in Texas Relays.
That's
and
true.
That's always good.
So unfortunate for the fans, very fortunate for LSU. They should be able to lock that up. And also, he had a massive PR. He ran at 20:09, and that is currently number 2 in the NCAA this season and number 8 in the world. So yeah, everything came up in Jaron Flournoy's favor this weekend.
He looked good. He made it in the 100, which I almost wonder will be kind of inconvenient for him because he's not really a 100 runner. I mean, yeah, it'll get maybe a work on his start as he goes into the 2, of course. But, it's kind of like an event that maybe he didn't expect to qualify for because Akawo, who's run like 10:02, 10:01, would have expected to there. But now Flournoy, who only ran 10:23, is going to be
And
there.
it's going to be hard for him to grab any points in that event as well.
I mean, he's not going to score in the 100, at least
Right.
in my opinion. But, yeah, good weekend for him. No doubt about it.
I went with Wayne Kalati out in the West, distance action.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talk about sure things going into NCAAs.
Yeah.
I think her 10,000 title is all but assured. This is a shot of the 5,000, and I picked this clip because this is really the only time when she was still running with people.
Yes.
And she started this lap dead even, and then you could just watch the lead grow and grow and grow. I don't know if the 5 is necessarily guaranteed just because she's going to be running on tired legs, and there might be someone who can pop in there and perhaps in a tactical race outkick her. But in the 10,000, I mean, she won by 25 seconds over all the best women in the nation. I think you were out in the East. Did you see anybody in the East on the women's distance side who could contend with Kaladi?
Was that a joke?
Okay, I'm just asking.
Oh no, that was serious. No, of course.
Let
not.
the people know.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah, it's hers. It's hers
Yeah.
to lose at this point. She hadn't won an individual title, and she's been close so many times before, and it really crystallized there. Also, now I know this doesn't really matter because you don't get extra points for being comfortable post-race, but she just recovered so quickly after both. Like, she finishes these races, and she just looks like she could have another gear in her if she needed to, and I think that's going to be worth something when you're running in the heat in Austin.
How do you think she approaches the race? Do you think she'll do her usual and just go for it from
Well, in the
early on?
5K, she didn't go. In neither of the races this past weekend did she go for it. She waited halfway through in the 10,000 and then went. That race, she waited till, 11 minutes or something on the clock, and then dropped a 4:40 last mile. I mean,
if she can do that, then, why not, right?
The only thing she's not going to do is she's not going to wait till 800 to go or 400 to go.
Especially in the 5 if Danny Jones is still there.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
So I think she's going to do a long drive from home. It's going to be similar to cross country, except the move is going to be a lot stronger than it was in cross country, and the field is going to have a much tougher time recuperating, trying to respond to a move like that, because she's just on a whole nother level now.
And if you haven't watched that interview with her post-race interview, it is worth a watch. The way that she responded to the questions about, were you tired? Do you feel like this took anything out of you? She's like, oh, no, I was good. I felt really good, really strong. Like, it just brushed it off like nothing. So if you want any further evidence of the fact that she's ready to just take this on and run away with it,
she should have to wear a heart rate monitor for her.
Yeah, she should. That'd be interesting to see.
And I'm hesitant in general with the distance races being here. I think that there are going to be some huge surprises with the heat. I just think she's going to be immune to them, though. I think she could have an off day and still win, particularly the 10,000.